Hey, what's up, Mr. Ippolito students? This is Mr. Ippolito. You had a question, several students had a question on one of the questions in the crash course guide, and I will show that to you right now. Question number 4, Emperor Wen stopped burning books. And that's the question, and that's not really helpful. So I want to actually talk briefly about like what is that question. Clearly, Mr. Ippolito made a mistake, but you don't need to let this stop you. Just because there's no question there doesn't mean you need to let it stop you from responding to that. Emperor Wen stopped burning books. Okay, so what's the deal? What's the importance? I guess probably I should ask, what was the significance of this? And in order to get to the significance, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to stop talking, and briefly we're going to let John Green talk. And this is the part at 6:15 here where he talks about when Emperor Wen stopped the burning of books. Check this out.
Under Wen, there were no more harsh punishments for criticizing the government, executions declined, and most importantly, for the Confucian scholars who were writing the history, the government stopped burning books. Thus, according to the ancient Chinese version of history, Emperor Wen, by behaving as a wise Confucian, maintains the mandate of heaven. So who is this Confucius I won't shut up about? Let's go to the thought bubble.
Okay, so basically what happens is under Emperor Wen, there's a change. And the reason why I want to mention this change is because changes happen in history. Changes happen within civilizations, changes happen within countries. You were alive during the time this happened not too recently, or not too long ago, rather, where we had a change from leadership from President Obama, who left office in January 2017, and in comes President Trump in January of 2017. Now, a lot of people felt a significant shift in the way our country was run and kind of the attitude and the vibe. It shifts, and that's what happens in countries is when a lot of times when the people kind of get tired of doing things one way, then we decide, you know what, let's go ahead and try things a different way. So this was, and that can happen for a variety of reasons. In this case, in Chinese history, under the previous dynasty, there was a lot of chaos. There was this warring period. And then along comes this guy named Confucius. And he says, you know what, we need to create an order. If we're going to survive, we need to create an orderly society. We've talked about the difference between order versus chaos. We've talked about this a lot in my class. Confucius was all about order. And the way that you create order is you create a hierarchy. Hierarchy basically means that in your social system, there's a person who is almost always higher than you, right? There's this higher lower system. So men are superior to women, and older people are superior to younger people, and leaders are superior to their subjects. And the person who's kind of on the lower half, they owe their allegiance and their loyalty and their respect to the person who is above them. The person who is above needs to give protection and also needs to provide a good example, a good moral example, be a good role model for the person who's below you. So this warring period ends and this greater period of stability begins. Emperor Wen, one of the changes that he makes in China is he stops burning books, which is an indication that when you burn books, it usually means because you want just one version of the story to be told. You just want one, like this is, you don't like differing opinions. You don't like to hear what other people, it's fake news. I don't want you to hear what other people are saying about me. I want you to hear the official version. This is what the government says. And that's usually when books get burned, is when you don't want other areas of thought, other thinkers, other writers, you're not really respecting what other people say. In China still today, there's censorship. North Korea, other countries around the world, there is strict censorship. There are certain websites you can't visit. That's kind of the modern version of book burning, is you just prevent people from having access to knowledge and education. When the book burning stopped, that was an indication that says, you know what, we want to be a peaceful society, an open society. We want a society that represents and respects all different points of view. But within this framework, within this context of the Confucian ideas, right? We're gonna establish order. We're going to follow this hierarchy, and when you do that, when you create that order and that structure, then you can give people an opportunity to share their opinions more freely, because it's not there. It's not a danger to do so. Hopefully you understand that, and if you don't, then give me a holler and I can help you further. But I hope that helps. Have a great day. Thanks. Bye-bye.